This week I finally got my nose on some fragrances that I've really been interested in, so stay tuned. Hey, what's going on guys? Hunter here and welcome back to my channel where I upload weekly fragrance content. So if you love fragrances, hit the subscribe button down below and also be sure to check me out over on my Instagram page. But that's right, another week, another weekly fragrance rotation, of course. If you're not familiar with this series, I basically go over what fragrance I chose on each day, how many sprays, the kind of weather, and of course if that fragrance got any compliments or not. So let's just get right into Sunday. For Sunday, it was a very sunny day in the low 80s, and on that day I put out a fragrance that I don't own, even though I wanted to smell this one for quite some time now, and it is Roja Parfums Diaghilev, guys. Now, this is one of the most popular from Roja, at least that I've heard of. I see a lot of people talk about this one, even though it is on the higher end spectrum when it comes to Roja Parfums. I think this one is over $500 if I'm not mistaken. However, the Diaghilev is a very, very old school classic Chypre fragrance that I think was inspired by Guerlain's Mitsuko, and I never got my nose on that one, even though this actually reminds me of Shalimar by Guerlain, because this has a heavy dose of this animalic civet note that is so strong. And on that day with the Diaghilev, I did only 3 sprays because that's all you're gonna need. You're not gonna want to do more than 3 with this fragrance just because of how sort of unpleasant this can smell if you overdo it, because it is that classic, very, very old school Chypre with that animalic civet note. Not something that I personally would probably go out and buy unless I got an absolute steal on it, because at the end of the day, it is an absolute work of art and extremely high quality smelling, just not really my cup of tea. But heading into Monday, it was a cloudy, kind of gloomy day, even though it was warm in the mid 80s, I believe. I was just in the mood for kind of like a dumb reed sweet fragrance. And what's better than, of course, Versace Eros. Now, I haven't worn this fragrance in quite a few months. I don't even recall the last time wearing this one. But I just love the bubblegum sweetness in this. Of course, that very nice apple fruitiness as well. Just all in all, a great designer fragrance that definitely usually does pull compliments. Extremely crowd pleasing, especially a fragrance targeted more so wearing like a party or the club or something like that. Just because of how outgoing, playful, and fun Eros is. Now, on that day, I did do 10 sprays, so I did kind of overdo it, especially how strong this stuff is. And this is the original EDT. I know they have an eau de parfum and an extrait de parfum, or just parfum. The EDT though, this stuff actually does project probably the most. This stuff just screams off the skin for hours on hours. So if that's what you're looking for, definitely check out Eros, especially at the price you can get these at, of course. No compliments on that day, but I really, really did enjoy this one. And I'm gonna have to reach for this one a little bit more and show it some love. So for Tuesday, it was in the low 80s, even though it was a nice sunny day outside. And I actually decided to go with another Roja, and I wanted to try this one out again because at first I wasn't blown away by it. And of course, that is Elysium Eau Intense. Now, this is a much more mature, kind of a sophisticated take on the Parfum Cologne. It adds this very tart, watery rhubarb note that's in the opening, and it's very, very strong in the opening. It definitely kind of comes across intense smelling, not necessarily intense when it comes to the performance. Sort of more of like an intense, fresh Elysium Parfum Cologne. For the more mature crowd, it's very, very complex, and that's what you expect from Roja. But on that day, I did do 10 sprays of Elysium Eau Intense, and I also went to the car dealership and picked up my brand new car, so that's always fun and exciting. What better fragrance to wear for that kind of situation, picking up a brand new car, than Elysium Eau Intense. Got no comments on that day. And I don't really think this one would get more compliments than the original Parfum Cologne, because that one is a compliment magnet. I don't really see everybody enjoying this fragrance like your average kind of person walking down the road compared to the Parfum Cologne. This one is just more on the niche side of things. So for Wednesday, it was in the low 80s and a cloudy day, and I decided to pull out one of my favorite fragrance discoveries this year, and that is Sospiro Vibrato. So if you love the DNA of like Bulgari Tiger or even L'Immensité by Louis Vuitton, you have to try Vibrato out, guys. It deserves all the hype that it has been getting. It's a very green herbal take on those scent profiles, and it's done incredible with top tier quality as you would expect. That makes it one of my favorite fragrances this year. Now on that day though, I did do 5 sprays of Vibrato. got no compliments, but the entire day while wearing this one, I just had a huge smile on my face because I absolutely love this stuff. Okay, on Thursday, it was a little bit chilly outside in the low 70s and rainy, and I actually put out a fragrance that I've been dying to get my nose on for quite some time now because the original is one of my favorite fragrances of all time, and I consider it to be a masterpiece, and that is Amouage's Interlude 53. The Blue Beast times 10 pretty much. And I'm sure when I was wearing this on that day, you could probably smell me from where you're watching right now. That is how strong this stuff is. And on that day, I did do only 5 sprays of Interlude 53. I did not want to do any more than that because I know the original is a beast fragrance and this one is even stronger. To me, how this one smells compared to the OG, it's very, very similar. This one has that 53% oil concentration, which makes it extremely potent because anything like over 25% is considered like an extrait de parfum. This stuff has 53%, guys. Just think about that for a second. Because I think the original has around like 20% perfume oils. This one has like over double. So you're gonna obviously expect this one to be beast mode. Now it's not really different than the original compared to like the Flanker Black Iris Interlude. This one is that same DNA, just amped up 10 times. It is a little bit more smoky and a little bit more dense as you would expect. But it is kind of redundant to own both of them. So if you own the original Interlude, you love it. I don't really see a point of going out and spending hundreds of dollars on the 53 unless you run out of yours. Or if you're one of those people that think the Blue Beast isn't strong enough, then you might want to consider this. But it's not a completely different fragrance. It's just amped up Interlude, man. Now, on that day, got no compliments with this one, and it's not really a compliment magnet of a fragrance because it is just so polarizing and very few people will actually enjoy this fragrance. Of course, it has that heavy dose of incense, which makes it very smoky, but it has this very green oregano note, which makes it stand out and extremely unique. So that's what I chose to wear on Thursday is Interlude 53. So for Friday, it was in the mid 70s, also kind of rainy outside. And I was in the mood for like that Aventus DNA, but didn't really want to reach for Aventus. And I decided to go with a cheapie, which is Banana Republic's Black Walnut Legend. So if you're looking for that Aventus DNA and you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars, definitely check this one out because you can find these at your local rack stores. And it gets that Aventus DNA down to a T, to be honest with you. And on Friday, I did do 10 sprays of Black Walnut Legend. This isn't really necessarily a beast mode or strong fragrance, so you can't overspray it easily. On that day though, I did do like some shopping and stuff like that, bought some fragrances. Didn't get any comments with this fragrance, but later on in the day, it did change quite a bit where I was picking up this very black leather note. And I was like, what in the world am I smelling? I didn't know if it was my chair or my car seats or something, but I forgot. I looked up the notes and I forgot this does have a black leather note. I was like, wow. It's so prominent in the dry down. If you love leather and you love that Aventus DNA, kind of take like ombre leather and Aventus and mix them together, you kind of get Black Walnut Legend. So if that sounds good to you, definitely get a bottle of this, especially at the price you can find it. Wrapping the week off on Saturday, it was in the mid 70s, also kind of cloudy outside, and I pulled out a brand new fragrance in my collection, the first time wearing this, and my first experience from this house, and that is Famine London Bohemian Infusion, guys. Now this house I've been so curious about. Of course, Fanfare. You have Carved Oud, which is like an oud wood similar fragrance, which I want to smell. This one though is the brand new launch of 2023, just came out, and it honestly took me by surprise because it's one of the most kind of mysterious, intriguing herbal fragrances I have ever smelled in my life. There's something so interesting about this fragrance. I know it uses this note of myrtle, which is a floral flower note, which isn't used that much in perfumery. And I think that's what's making it stand out and make it very unique to my nose because I don't have much experience with that note. And I think that's what's making me very curious about this fragrance. And what's awesome is it came in this treasure chest and it had like oak moss in there and stuff like that, like real oak moss, and it smelled incredible. I don't think oak moss is actually listed in this fragrance, but that box smelled absolutely amazing. Of course, you follow me over on my Instagram, you would have seen that because I post a ton of stories of fragrances, of course, things like that over there. So like I said in the intro, go follow me so you don't miss anything. But on that day, I did do 8 sprays of Bohemian Infusion. And I did get a compliment because on that day, I did go to the campgrounds with family and like other people and things like that. And she said that this fragrance smells very, very good and asked me what it was. And yeah, of course I told her, and this is gonna be a very good fresh spring, summer maybe even fall time because of the dark, mysterious nature behind it. And what's funny is the people at the campground as well know I'm in the fragrances, of course. I had this guy, he put out like a test strip of something he sprayed on. He's like, hey, smell this, tell me what you think. And 5 seconds, I smelled it. I was like, yeah, this is Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male. I guess it was like a vintage batch of Le Male, which smelled incredible. And it was actually very strong compared to like the Le Male you can get now in 2023. Unfortunately, it's been reformulated. I thought that was interesting. He pulled that out and I got it to a T like 5 seconds after smelling it. But back to this, I am going to review this fragrance very, very soon. And I cannot wait because this is a banger, guys. And I'm gonna look forward to trying more from Thameen London. Let me know your thoughts behind this house. I know Fanfare just came out, it's very popular. And that's also in that Brit cologne collection along with this, which is weird because it says the concentration is a cologne elixir, which I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if it's like a cologne, like an eau de cologne compared to like an elixir combined together, or just like an eau de parfum. However, this stuff is good and it is pretty strong for being a freshie. So that's gonna do it for my weekly fragrance rotation. Let me know down below the fragrances you guys are choosing to wear throughout the week. I always love seeing what you guys are pulling out. But leave a like on the video, subscribe below if you haven't already, and of course, I'll see all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.